Should I start?
No, I think I'm waiting for them to cue me. So if you just hang on, we'll be on in a moment.
Yeah. Sure.
Oh, are we on now? I think we're on now, I believe. Can they just confirm that? I'm sitting here in Rome. If you can see me, then we are on. This is the World Cleanup Day, live from Rome, with the Kola Media Center coming from Kiev in Ukraine. We'll be crossing back to Kiev shortly here on the program, but for just now, I'm going to take the helm of the ship here from Rome, the Eternal City. Of course, the World Cleanup Day started in 2018, the international version of what was the National Cleanup Day in Estonia. And year on year, it has grown and grown, where now we have countries taking part across the entire planet. And already we've spoken to people in Indonesia, in Taiwan, in Latvia, Estonia, in Australia, in many different parts of the world. And now we're going to a place not too far from here, not a million miles, the United Kingdom. We're going to go to London, and there we can say hi to Ketty Machavariana. Did I get that right, Ketty?
Pretty much, and you got it absolutely right.
A
Yeah.
beautiful Georgian surname, and it is great to see you. You're there with Let's Do It UK. Tell us, where are you at the moment? How has the cleaning been going, and what have you been finding?
Oh, we're at the moment in London Borough of Hackney, around Hackney Marshes. We have several teams there cleaning up around. And you see there's lots of beautiful green area around. Sadly, it still gets lots of trash because there are lots of games going around during the weekends and rubbish being left around. So we're here to working up day with volunteers. We have up to 30 volunteers today on that specific locations to tackle that. And so far, so good. We started like 30 minutes ago, and we have around 1.5 hours more to go.
And tell me, what have you been finding as you've moved around? What kind of litter? Is there a pattern of the same type of thing? Anything unusual that you didn't expect?
Mostly plastic cups, I would say, uh, plastic bag, fabric. Uh, Sometimes we see fabric that is partially disintegrated, means it's a polyester or cotton, polyester and wool, which is really bad for the environment because those things, although they seem like fabric, they don't disintegrate for like hundreds of years. What is like water bottles? We have found bottles and bottle caps, occasional cigarette butts, but not too many this year.
Okay, well, that's good. That's good news, I guess. And how many years have you been involved in the cleanup, Katy? And why do you get involved? What brings Katy out from her house on a Saturday into the forest and the woodland to help clean up and make it a greener place?
My first working up day was in Estonia. Back in Estonia, I would say 6 years ago. This is my second cleanup actually in the United Kingdom in London that I've been joining, and all the experience was absolutely fantastic because it's just such a joy to meet new people and do the cleanup. And today we have a very special guest. It's a very special occasion for us because we are joined by the ambassador of Estonia to the United Kingdom's Ambassador Sven Sakov. He's over here coming up just right with us in our team. Hello.
That's great. Hello, Ambassador. How are you doing?
Very well. Actually, it's been a very nice morning. Weather is nice. Our harvest is actually quite good, if you can see that. A lot of stuff. Greetings to the world from the Hackney Marshes. It's great to see that something which started in Estonia in 2008 has taken off so well in the whole of the world, including here. So we have I think it's a river probably on one side, and we are at the embankment of the river cleaning up. On the other side, we have football pitches, many of them. It's a by way a fantastic way to spend your weekend with your colleagues and friends and new acquaintances. We have a couple of people from the embassy. With us, you
Yes.
see Rhodos, and hope to that by the end of this day, the world will be a cleaner place than yesterday.
That's so well said, Ambassador. Thank you so much. And Ketty Macchia Variani, thank you so much too, and continue the rest of your work. Are you going to do a little bit more, or have you done most of it for the day now? Is that you finished?
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Ketty. Bye.
Been pleasure. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Bye bye. There you go. That was Ketty at Let's Do It United Kingdom, and the Estonian ambassador to the United Kingdom joining them as well, which was great to see. So thank you so much, guys. And don't forget, if you've just joined us, you can watch this live broadcast on Facebook, on YouTube, across the world. Let's do it. Let's do the World Cleanup Day social media pages. And excuse us, we've all been going for a very long time here, trying to link in with the countries right around the world, and we still have many more to come. Now, I want to talk about something that she mentioned there actually. She said that a lot of the things they were finding were textile waste. She said she was coming across some of that there in that woodland area. And this is becoming an increasingly important issue in the world of environmental cleanups, because 92 million tons of textile waste is produced every year. That's one garbage truck of clothes dumped in a landfill every second. Every second. Isn't that unbelievable? Every second, an entire truck of clothes dumped in a landfill. And the recycling rates when it comes to textiles is very low. In fact, it is less than 1% of used clothing is recycled into new garments. And here's the problem. Because of fast fashion, clothing production has doubled. In the past 15 years, clothing production has doubled because of the fast fashion that I just mentioned. But garments are being worn 40% less of the time. So we wear the garments 40% less because we want to get new stuff and get it quickly. And that means they're doubling production, and then less than 1% is recycled. Can you see how this becomes a huge problem? Every second, one garbage truck of waste textiles put into a landfill. So we have a video now. This is an interview that Marilyn did. Are we going to Marilyn? No, we're not. We're going there next. Okay, sorry, we're sticking with the United Kingdom, and we have this video, some images of the cleanup, and then we're going to go to the textile thing I was just telling you about. Take a look at this.
Every piece of land tells a story, from the mountains to the valleys, through the towns and cities, right to the beaches. At the Skill Mill, we believe that story should be one of renewal, not neglect. Every year, on World Cleanup Day, we mobilise communities across the UK to come together. Young people, families, neighbours, restoring spaces in the places they call home, leading to year-long care for the environment. It's more than litter picking, it's connection, it's purpose, it's pride. Our Strive for 5 campaign aims to engage 5% of the UK population, over 3 million people, in action. Because research tells us that's when behaviour shifts and change becomes lasting. For young people in our programme, many with experience of the justice system, these moments are transformative. Through paid work and public service, they reclaim both land and their futures. With your support, we can reach the toughest places and create opportunity for others to follow and enjoy. Because for us, like you, as Nelson Mandela said, it always seems impossible until it's done.
And welcome back to the Kohler Media Center and the broadcast of the World Cleanup Day 2025. We just ended up with a press conference. Anneli Kolke, Estonian ambassador in Ukraine, me, myself, and also a Let's Do It Ukraine leader. We just participated there, talked about their event, about the cleanup, why we are in Ukraine, what we are doing here. And now we have this excursion looking around on the Kohler Media Center, what is it all about. But coming back to their talking and the idea that United Nations have a concrete theme for this year, for 2025, and this is about the textile waste. So what we did in Let's Do It Well, we ran the side campaign and had an interview with my colleague Marilyn to talk about with their experts and really great CEOs of the industry itself. We have really interesting organization from Estonia, and it's a cute, and let's see what the CEO of that is sharing all about the textile waste. Let's do it.
At Qt, we are dealing with two major waste problems in Europe and probably all over the world. These are the packaging waste and textile waste. And what we do is we use textile waste as a raw material to create reusable, rigid, durable packaging. We calculated that between two of us, we have created 5.5 million units of clothing. So I was responsible when I was working for the fashion industry to create that much of clothing. According to statistics, 75% of all the fashion industry production is ending up in the landfills because the textile waste is lacking recycling solutions. And that's a huge, huge problem. Everybody knows that the packaging waste is a huge problem because it's growing. The e-commerce is growing, the consumption is growing. And what's happening now in the world is that all the major retailers, everybody is switching from plastic packaging to cardboard, paper-based packaging. But this comes also with cost. Everybody is against plastic, but now, let's now use all the bio-based, paper-based, cellulose-based materials. So what it means is that now in every hour, we cut down 300,000 trees in every hour to create paper packaging. So this is not sustainable. Yes, that's the correct word. So we need alternative materials for the packaging. First of all, we need to stop overpacking and reduce packaging and all this, but also we need another source of raw material. And when we have already the waste material existing in the landfills, creating problems, so we need to use that, and that's what we are doing. A lot of materials will stay synthetic. We need them, like sportswear, like uniforms, like all sorts of technical fabrics and textiles. So they don't disappear. We need to deal with the waste of this stream as well. The mixed and the synthetic fibers recycling has been a huge problem because of the first of all, there hasn't been like push or demand or something. It was like some hidden problem. The root problem is that the fashion industry started to overproduce and the prices started to went down. There are regulations in Europe coming in. So already from this year, the export and the landfill export of textile waste is restricted. And there are going to be more and more restrictions in terms of landfilling and incineration. So incineration will become much more expensive. And also they are forcing companies not to hide the problem and actually take actions. For example, also starting from this year, and there are going to be this extended producer responsibility. So all those producers, they have to take responsibility financially to start paying either per kilo or per item or per ton a certain amount of money that goes into those textile waste collections and sorting and recycling solutions. Where I have the possibility to speak up, I always say that to really solve this problem, we need to solve it holistically, like the whole picture together, because the problem with these kinds of things is that you cannot do only the first part. Like starting from this January, a textile waste should be collected or discarded separately. Yeah, but it doesn't solve the problem. Yeah, we have now textile waste, but we don't have the next step. So for example, if we have some financial resources, we should divide it evenly into different parts of this recycling or system. So we have the collecting, sorting, fiberizing, and we also should at the same time push the innovation, the products. So because what we have seen in some of our neighboring countries, the problem is that they do one part, they put the factory even to sort and fiberize all this waste, and then they don't have anything to do with those fibers. Force big corporations for example, they have to each year try a new solution to really drive the innovation in the world. They are the ones who can actually change the world. So if they are forced to like try every year, we'll see more and more innovation coming through.
Welcome back, and thank you for a really great interview from Qt, an organization and business, nice textile company from Estonia. And I like to say that, yes, we have to have systemic approach to any kind of waste materials, which is definitely a textile. And the only thing what we can do to get together right now is to consume the less or consume in more smarter way. But let's go now to the Cirque video, and let's explore what this organization is doing and talking about the textile waste, please.
Someone actually who we were dealing with around us said, have you ever tried processing textiles? And we hadn't, but we also were nervous because we thought, does anyone care? Because what we had built previously, we had a solution, but no market for it. In this case, we tested it. We got very positive results. We reported the results back to people who we were dealing with. And we also said, hey, do people actually care? And I joke, sometimes it's better than having the solution is having the solution at the right time. And when we were first introduced to Patagonia, in fact, when they called us to find out what we were doing, we realized that if people were calling us rather than us trying to chase people the whole time, there was probably something real here. And so we actually ended up transitioning the company completely into textiles and fashion and into recycling. So where we differentiate, and just to be clear what exactly we do, we recycle blended textiles, specifically polyester and cotton blends, and return both the polyester and the cotton back into the textile supply chain. That is pretty much what makes us unique. People don't realize that their clothes are made largely out of three things. In fact, all textiles, whether you sit on it, whether it's hanging on your windows, it's all made out of three main things. It's made out of oil in the form of polyester. It's made out of cotton, which is the second most dominant fiber. And then the third one is it's made out of trees, which people do not realize. But to get something that had that more natural feel, that could absorb water, which polyester can't, you turn to making tree-based fiber. So you cut down the tree and you process it to get to this pure cellulose, which is one of the main materials in plants. And then you turn that into a fiber. Instead of using trees, we can take the waste cellulose that's in cotton, because cotton is actually a very pure form of this material. And we can take that and purify that and make that so we need less trees. Textiles is one of the oldest industries that we have ever had as a species. We have worn clothes for a long time. It was the root of the Industrial Revolution. And in fact, so many of the wealthiest cities at times in the world have been around textiles and textile production. And so shifting such a massive industry, which, I mean, people just don't understand how big we're talking, yeah, requires building alliances, building collaborations. We need to build awareness even with the customers so that they're aware of the profile of their clothes and things. So we're seeing the shift globally. If you think about it, France was ahead of the curve. They've had an EPR scheme since 2012 for textiles. They're reworking it. There are always challenges, especially if you go first. You learn all the challenges, and everyone gets to learn from anything that you learn. So polyester, when they say it's got recycled polyester in clothes, they mean it's made from plastic bottles. Now they can't make it from plastic bottles because those bottles are being rerouted to bottles. And so there's a need and a growing interest in textile to textile recycling. So I would say I see green shoots and growth and development in regulation globally actually around a lot of this. I think if we recognize the true cost of some of our virgin resources, so we balance the playing field between recycled and recovered materials, that would be probably the biggest thing. Because right now we have created situations where we don't recognize the true cost of things. And so it seems much cheaper and easier to just mass extract resources from the earth and do everything with virgin. And I don't think we're counting the true cost. Why do we buy clothes? Is because it's a personal branding thing. It's the cover of our book. And so it's what we show to the world as part of who we are. Telling people that are now getting disposable income that they can't buy clothes, just I don't think is going to work. So I think for a while, textile consumption is unfortunately going to keep going up. We're not going to be solving this problem in the near term by reducing consumption at a global level. Long term, I think the biggest thing we need to do is we need to learn to love our clothes again. We have changed our attitude to clothes over the last few decades. We've been trained to consume and trained to buy. And because you are trained to, the only way to get people to constantly buy things is if the things that they currently have are no longer worthwhile, no longer have worth. So we've started to be trained to think of our clothes as disposable, something we just throw away. When you can pay less for a t-shirt than a cup of coffee, you're not going to look at that t-shirt as valuable. It's just the way it is. There's no embedded value in your mind.
Exactly.
And no one stops to think either about why is your t-shirt less than a cup of coffee when the production that goes into that, the materials that go into that are so, are so much. If you associate monetary value with the value of everything, then a £3 t-shirt is, a triviality for most developed world economies. Like your bus ticket may have cost you more, your train ticket cost you more. So you start to look at we as human beings look at things as relative value. And I'm not saying we need to suddenly make the clothes, each t-shirt is $100 or €100 or £100, but again, it goes to that thing about not recognizing the actual cost of something and only recognizing the price of something and not recognizing what the costs were to get the price to that point, socioeconomically and from a resource like pillaging the planet perspective.
Yes, and as the Cirque CEO said that France is the forefront of their textile industry and finding the sustainable solution already from 2012. Why not to go to the France and let's see what their France girls, Anna Grill and Virginie Guerin, are doing, and all the team as well.
Now on the World Cleanup Day show, coming to you from Rome and from Kiev in Ukraine, I'm Colin Flynn. The time here in Rome, it has just gone 12:35 in the afternoon. I believe they're an hour ahead of us in France. Let's find out and say hi to Anna Grill. She's the Vice President of Let's Do It France and has been involved in the World Cleanup Day for many years, and she's always smiling and having fun. Anna, great to see you. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, absolutely great.
And tell me,
Can
what
you
time
see
is it
me
there?
actually? Yes.
Yes, I can see you. It looks
Okay,
great.
okay.
You're in a park. Well, what time is
Yes.
it where you are, and what is happening at the moment?
It's 1:45. I'm actually with a group of kids that I've cleaned this morning, all morning, and that I just had lunch together, and they're going to clean again this afternoon. So now we are in the park for the lunch break, and are picking up cigarette butts mainly at the moment.
Yeah, is that the main thing you're coming across, Anna? Is it those pesky cigarette butts as usual?
Of course, among other types of waste. But last year we picked up around World Cleanup 8 million of them. 8 million
Eight,
cigarette butts.
wait, 8 million.
Yes, yes, in France.
How did you manage to do that? Tell me how many people were involved, and that's just an incredible achievement.
We had 140,000 people involved,
Wow.
and 2,500, approximately 2,500 cleanups organized all across France.
That is amazing. Do you see it moving the dial? Because, you know, when it started as a national cleanup in Estonia, it really worked. The country became cleaner, people became prouder, people became more aware of environmental issues and the implications of littering. Is it having the same kind of effect in France? Is it changing attitudes? Are you seeing a trend of less rubbish being dumped?
Actually, I guess the situation is slightly different in France because waste and waste management have been a subject, like have been taken care of for decades now. So it's actually harder now to change mentalities, but still we see that more and more people are aware of the problem, are aware of the necessity to actually reduce waste. But I mean, of course, you also have the other side of the of the scope with people that really don't care, and they still exist, and they're still there way too much.
Yeah, is there anything unusual you found in your cleanup today so far? I know that we've had different kind of industrial waste in different countries, sportswear from people who are out jogging or whatever. What have you been finding that might be a little bit unusual apart from the cigarette butts?
For this year, I don't know yet because I will be working on the reports as of this afternoon. But in the previous years, we found like cars, bikes, computers, money. We actually found money. I did find 50 euros once. And
As a successful
also,
cleanup.
yes, absolutely. Yes, yes.
And I cut you off there. Sorry, you were saying, and also, oh,
Yes.
the line broke up there as a small bit. I wanted to know, Anna, when you have collected all this recyclable material, or you've collected all the waste, what happens to it then? Where do you bring it, and how is it processed?
So the situation is that in France, like every local organizer is responsible for organizing whatever happens with the waste. But we do encourage sorting the waste, of course, and sending it in the right outlets so that it's actually treated, recycled if possible, and treated in the right way. So mostly, actually, organizers work with communities because they have the competence, they have the responsibility for treating the waste. So in most cases, local organizers get in contact with the community, and then the community then comes and picks up the waste after the cleanup.
And Anna, finally, before we hand back to Haiti in the studio in Kiev in Ukraine, do you find it's easier to mobilize people as time goes on? Or is it something that we see maybe in politics sometimes that it goes off the boil a little bit and it becomes unpopular, becomes popular, it goes in and out of trend? At the moment in France, are you finding it easy to mobilize people?
Actually, mobilization figures are stable. I would say that in the past 4 years, we've been quite stable in mobilization. We see an evolution, like more and more companies tend to participate. Actually, yes, I do have the feeling that citizens and associations are, a bit bored with the whole thing because they don't see things moving, because they see the big companies polluting, and they have this feeling that they're being made responsible for all this when they're not completely. So there's this kind of reactions actually to participating in cleanups or even doing environmental things. Yes, we do see that more and more.
Well, Anna Grill, it's always a pleasure talking to you, and you always bring us outside, which is always nice to see in your cleanup. So, Anna Grill, the Vice President of Let's Do It France, thank you so much and have a good World Cleanup Day. Bye,
Bye
guys.
bye.
The happy
Bye
cleaners.
guys.
Bye. That's fantastic. We are going to go to Iceland in just a moment, but before we do that, let's head back to Haiti in Kiev.
Thank you, Cole. Thank you so much. Thank you, Anna Grill, as well. And before we go into Iceland, let's go to the Kola Media Center. Let's see what the people are doing here. We have to say that we started at 7 a.m. in the morning. We ending up at 5 p.m. in the evening. And of course, people cannot work all the time, having media news, creating the media news, finding the media news, all also working with the social media. But I'm really happy to see quite a lot of new people here. It's like another second schedule. Maybe I'm interviewing you. Hi.
Hello.
Who are you?
My name is Dmytro Kirichenko. I'm chairperson of Kyiv City Youth Council. We're helping Let's Do It Ukraine as our member organization to facilitate this big thing today. And we're really happy to see you here and to be the part of it.
Okay. What it means to you as a personally, as a young person leading your youth organization, also being part of this Kolia Media Center today?
We're trying to do whatever we can. So if we have to facilitate with the informational things, we definitely do that. If we need to facilitate with partners engagement, we definitely do that, because that's our core values. We're trying to bring the best what we can for the best organizations such as Let's Do It and Let's Do It Ukraine in particular.
Okay, and how long you have been right now in Kola Media Center? Like in 1 hour or 2 hours?
I've been here, I believe, up to 2.5 hours right now. So we're monitoring here what we can and what we cannot.
And what you have found?
We have found actually a lot of local communities in Ukraine that has joined the World Cleanup Day, which is very motivating actually to see that such small communities that I have not even heard of previously became part of this common international effort.
Yes, and yesterday I was receiving also a lot of emails from sometimes for the people. Yesterday I received an email from expats of Ukrainian people from United Arab Emirates who are also taking part of the World Cleanup Day. I guess there is a lot of people around the world from Ukraine also is taking part of the World Cleanup Day. But are you observing also worldwide level countries?
Me personally, I'm focusing on Ukraine, but definitely our media center, we were looking everything we can find in social media and in mass media as well, and yeah, it's really inspiring to see, for example, Estonian embassy joining this effort, and other diplomatic representatives of diplomatic corpus being a part of this as well.
What is your key message to the young people around the world? We just talk about the textile waste and the consumerism. Also about the textile is quite big, and also if talk of the young people. But in reality, there is a lot of consumerism.
The consumerism is a problem. I think we all should be combating against. what my message would be, just we should be cautious about what we consume on each possible level. Well, it's always a good thing to ask yourself a question: is it a bad impact on our environment or not? Just a simple question that can maybe lead to some changes in outlook.
Thank you so much. I'm moving further. Here's so many, so beautiful people from Ukraine, young and lovely, and taking part of this nice initiative today. I'm coming to you. As I said, Ukrainian women are so beautiful. Hi, what is your name?
Hi, my name is Lisa. I'm representing Scouts of Ukraine today. As you can see, we are Scouts. Yeah, and it's really glad to be here and do something important for our world, to be the part of this program.
Yes. Thank you so much. So you can talk maybe more about your Scouts organization, because I think it's really worldwide level, the biggest youth organization in this world, taking part from so many countries, also within the Let's Do It world. If you talk about Indonesia, very big part of their Scouts are coming also to the World Cleanup Day. How you're working here in Ukraine?
Yeah, we have a lot of organizations in Ukraine about Scouts. For example, I'm from the city Dnipro. We have a really big organization. We are doing a lot of job. Also, we are traveling around the world, going to camps in different countries, and also we are really have traditions a lot of, and for us it's really important to stay to save these traditions, and Scouts, it's really cool. I really love them, and I hope that more children in Ukraine will know about Scouts and join us in our communication.
Thank you. And how much environmental awareness is within their Scouts organization?
Oh, a lot, because we have a lot of programs when we are going to forests. It's for us, as usual, we have camps in forests, and of course it's important for us to clean them, find trash, and Scouts, it's friend for the nature. It's really important rule for us, and we are cleaning everything when we go into camps, or just we did a lot of programs. For example, she did a program in Dnipro. We had a day when we went to forest and just clean up this. We had a big group of children that did it, and it was very good. Scouts, the friends of the nature.
And I see so many Scouts here wearing this beautiful scarf here. Thank you so much for your really nice interview, and let's see what he's doing in Iceland. Tommy Knuts, what you are doing there? Let's have the call with Colm.
Now, thank you very much, Haiti, for that. And looks like everyone's having a great time there in Kiev, and the wonderful volunteers in the call center. Let's keep our tracking going as we move next to the beautiful country of Iceland. And there, as always, is Thomas. Hello, Thomas. How are you doing?
Hello, Colm, and hello, Haiti, and hello, Let's Do It World family. We're doing great.
It's been a hard day's night, and I've been working like a dog. You like the Beatles?
I know. I was going to say that today is a beautiful day here in Iceland. The sun is up, the skies are blue, it's beautiful, and so are you.
That is great. You Icelandic charmer, you. Tommy, tell me, where are you at the moment? What part of beautiful Iceland are you in? And give me a sense of how the cleanup has been going so far.
Well, we are in the Reykjanes Peninsula. We are out in the field east of the local church here, and here are some leftovers from the past decades by the people that used to live here in the vicinity. They just took everything out to the field and dumped it there, and it's been here for decades, and we're cleaning it up.
And what are you finding? What kind of trash?
Well, there are some woods here, there are some fishing nets, there are some tires, there are some car batteries, scrap metal, gearboxes, engines, just name it, called whatever.
How many years have you been doing this now, Thomas?
It's been 30 years.
30 years, so you started when you were 5.
Well, I was a little younger than I am today.
Yeah. Have you seen the difference? This is the thing that we keep talking about at the World Cleanup Days, that we want to have a World Cleanup Day that means some time in the future we won't need one. We want to put ourselves out of business. And over the years, raising awareness there in Iceland, being in the media, mobilizing so many people, do you see a difference has been made in terms of how clean your country is?
Well, yesterday I was at a grand opening of a new recycling center where there are IE robots assorting the material that goes through the conveyor belts. So it's a long way since I started, but we are heading into a better future, I would say.
With AI technology,
There's a
yeah, they
big
can now
difference.
more quickly detect what can be recycled and what has to be put to a landfill. But it means that it will be faster and maybe more efficient, is what I've seen in documentaries. And we know that Iceland is famous for its scenery. People come from all over the world for its nature, for its stunning vistas and landscapes. Is it something that people are taking more pride in, the Icelandic people?
Well, the consciousness in the tourist industry is gaining every day because you don't want to show people some ugliness because Iceland is very beautiful. So the consciousness is spreading into all fields of the society, and that's of the good. I'm glad about that.
Now, just very quickly before we go and we hand back to Haiti in Kiev, tell me who's there in the background? You have some cleaners with you.
Yeah, we have some. My daughter is here, my wife is here, and a couple of neighbors, and some grandkids.
So you've all been cleaning together. And is it fun? Do you guys have fun when you're doing it? Because we know our friends
Yes,
from
we're
Let's
all
Do
having
It
fun. This is
USA.
our family
Yes,
day and family event.
family event. Well, in Penny Lane, there is a barber with a Photoshop. It's been great talking to I could keep going. It's great talking to you, Thomas, and thank you so much for everything you're doing. You're a star that shines brightly in the World Cleanup Day every single year. So thank you very much for everything you do in Iceland.
Thank you, and bring the world our best from Iceland. Thank you.
Will indeed. Bye, Thomas. Thank you so much. Tom is
Say
great. We check
bye.
in with him every year. Bye, guys. Bye. They're all waving. That's fantastic. Tom does so much work with the waterways in Iceland, and it really has had such a strong impact. And before we head to our next country, which should be Kenya, we're going to head back first to Kiev in Ukraine and to Haiti.
Thank you. Coming back to Colne Media Center again. Soon we are approaching with next really big continent who is taking part of the World Cleanup Day, and that is Africa. And in Africa we have really interesting, really big movements. I think the biggest one is in Mozambique. Soon the Carlos Serra is giving his interview. Usually he is engaging millions of people because he's engaging thousands of schools and working with the ministries. And definitely Kenya, which is really important place for their movement as well, because in Kenya there is a headquarters of UNEP and UN Habitat. And to talk about the UN Habitat, then the UN Habitat is a secretariat with Let's Do It World, working for the World Cleanup Day during their United Nations Day. And therefore, of course, Kenya has a really interesting position if you talk about Africa region. And then we have also interview with Tanzania, with Tayeli Masaki, from an organization called Nipefagio, and they are also doing really great cleanups, and not just the cleanups, but also working with zero waste and working also with sustainable environmental educational program, what we have run in our Let's Do It World organization. So in Africa, we have 43 different countries who are taking part of the World Cleanup Day. Yes, and that's it. Before we are streaming to the Africa, we will still have one really great video from Vox Populi, from the street of Kiev, which we have made for the World Cleanup Day with our partner, Kiev TV. Let's go to it. Let's see it.
To preserve and improve the environment even during the war, it is very important to unite for environmental initiatives. So I'll ask Kyiv residents what they are doing to protect our environment during the war. Have you noticed your neighbors uniting for environmental initiatives?
Well, little by little we do. Not super actively, but both I and my neighbors, as well as my family members, relatives, children, we all understand the importance of this issue.
What do you usually do during such activities?
We clean up something, pick up bottles or trash along the road. Sometimes we join activists who organize cleanup campaigns. But I think these activities are still not held often enough in Kyiv.
What small things do you personally do every day to protect the environment, even now during the war?
Well, for example, I sometimes make remarks to irresponsible citizens. I also work and explain to my students that we must fight for cleanliness. The planet was given to us by God, and we must leave it the same way for our descendants. God gave it to us clean. We've polluted it a bit, so it needs to be cleaned again so that our planet remains a pleasant place to live for future generations.
There were times, several times a year, when everyone got together to clean, but not tied to a specific date, meaning it could also happen on other days.
And how often was that?
Well, I think it was seasonal, after winter in spring, then in autumn and in summer. For example, whiten the trees or the curbs, something like that.
And did you personally take part in these works? What did you do?
Unfortunately, I haven't joined it lately, but when I saw others gathering, I would easily provide financial help. If it was in my yard or if it was a larger cleanup event, I tried to join whenever I could.
For environmental protection, I believe first of all it depends on every Ukrainian. It's about recycling. I personally do it. I have separate containers for plastic and separate ones for food waste. It's even more convenient for me as a housewife because I don't have to take out food waste too often. And a plastic container I take to special collection points. That's what I personally can do every day for protection.
Have you noticed your neighbors uniting for some environmental initiatives?
Yes, our neighbors try to plant a lot of greenery near house. We have several houses close to each other and we try to keep everything clean because we take care of the yard ourselves. Of course, every neighbor also takes care of their waste.
Do you also join in?
Yes, of course, we do everything together.
That from Vox Populi we can see and have interviews with a lot of people who are coming out to our cleanup day, and I love the interview with few people here and who said that even that the earth will give and us to us from the God. We have to spirit and to work for that. That it also will be the same purity for the future generations, which is really important. In the background you can see new people are coming as part of the Kola Media Center. Basically all night and all day has been alert here in Ukraine. It means that bus transportation and metro have been stopped sometime. people have to evacuation supposed to be happening as well, and so people going around and are coming with their delay. But here we are, nothing stopping, and let's go to Kenya now.
Okay. So
Oh, we're on. Are we on air? Okay, I think we are on. And look, I have Christine with me. Hi, Christine.
Hi.
Tell me, how is everything going in Kenya? What have you been doing today? Tell me everything.
That's some of the young people. We've just come from doing our cleanup, and we are having just some team debrief to discuss how the event went, and also just see what else we can do to make this sustainable. And so I'm in a place called Korogosho in Nairobi, Kenya, where we had a cleanup with mostly young, really young, like this is some of our participants. And I've really been excited to just contribute to learn about World Cleanup Day, but also contribute to a better world. And the fact that we are cleaning the immediate community, them just seeing the action that is needed to make their community better has been amazing.
And what kind of things have you been finding? What have you been cleaning up today? Tell me the kind of pollution that you see in Kenya.
Yes. Oh my God. I'm like, yeah. So across Kenya, so this was my second cleanup for the day. Earlier, I was in Kibera or Kibra, as we call it, and we have like over 40 cleanups going on in other parts of the country, and then approximately 200 cleanup activities in Nairobi. So some of the trash we are picking up, we have textile waste. I think for the longest time I haven't been looking out for that, but today for some reason I was seeing a lot of textile waste. There's also plastic waste that we are seeing, the plastic wrappers on plastic wrapping. There's still some wrappers we are finding.
Now, you are always full of enthusiasm and you're full of fun, Christine, when you do this. What gives you so much passion and energy for the environmental work that you do? And look at that beautiful tree behind you.
Yes, this is one of the offices where we'll be doing our debrief. But what gives me the psych to come back and have fun is just seeing the joy. Like right now, just seeing, like, I'm literally running away from these kids. Look at them following me. Yeah, just seeing the joy that cleanups bring to communities, especially when you engage them in doing such activities. Just seeing that spirit of community that comes up when there's such an occasion, because now for us, it's no longer a cleanup, it's an occasion, it's a day to celebrate. People show up in their cleaning best and like come together, and way after we are done with the cleaning, we are still here. We are still here just celebrating that power of being a community that cares about their environment and discussing what
That's
next,
awesome.
how do we take this? Yeah.
So the people have a lot of fun when they're on the cleaning too. They laugh and they joke together, and you've young and old, everyone is welcome.
Yes.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And do you have any idea of what will happen to the waste now that you have collected it? Will you categorize it? Will you identify patterns? Will you bring it for recycling? What happens to what you've collected?
So as I mentioned, we have different cleanups taking part, and the dynamics of how the waste is handled differ from zone to zone. But for those regions where we've had cleanup events going on for the past 8+ years, where we've had World Cleanup Day, we have established a practice where we sort the waste, and then that can be recycled, then is taken for recycling, and that cannot be recycled is handed over to the municipality for management. Unfortunately, there are regions where we are not at that level, so it's still murky what happens to the waste after it's been collected. It's still unclear, and it's part of why World Cleanup Day needs to happen, because it's our chance to also raise awareness on not just cleanups, but also how we dispose of waste.
Yeah, and you know what, Christine, that's very honest of you, and I like that. That, you're cleaning up and you're doing your part, but still in the country, there's a long way to go in terms of making sure that cycle is there and
Yes.
that line where you can trace it all the way until the end of the recycling process. But, bit by bit, and with you using your voice, I know that you speak publicly about this in Kenya a lot and you encourage and inspire so many people.
Yeah.
So it's little by little, isn't it?
Yes. Little by little, step by step.
Step by
Cleanups
step.
is just one action, but there's still more that needs to be done to ensure sustainable nature, a sustainable world and nature for us all.
Now we're about to head back to the call center in Kiev and then we're going to Tunisia. But before we do that, just be careful. There's a little bird at your ear. Look at that behind you. Be careful. There's a little birdie.
The beautiful tree at the community center where we're doing our debrief after the cleanup event. So
That is so
yeah.
beautiful. That is so beautiful.
Yeah,
Well,
this is
Christine,
my team.
there's the team. Look at them all. Hey,
How are you?
how are you?
Hi, George. I'm good.
Hey, George,
Say your name.
King of the Jungle, George. Hey, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Thank you
It's
so
nice-
much. Have fun. Are you in Ukraine?
No, I am in Rome. I couldn't make it to Ukraine this time because, believe it or not, I'm going to Africa on Monday. I'm going to Ghana. So I would
that
not
would
have
be
made it
nice.
in time. And that is why I am here in Rome, linking into Kiev and then going to Ghana on Monday.
Okay, enjoy. Ghana is fun. I hope you get to talk to Kate, who is my colleague in Ghana.
Yeah, I hope so. I've never been to Ghana before, so I'm very excited about that, Christine. Of course,
All right,
last
enjoy
year we did a
everything.
big TV show in Kenya and it was beautiful. So, hey, thank you so much, Christine. And enjoy the rest of your World Cleanup Day and keep on smiling.
Thank
Bye,
you.
Christine. That's Christine Seo there. She is the leader of Let's Do It Kenya. And now we go from Nairobi, Kenya, back to Kiev. And I'll be back with you in a moment talking to Tunisia.
Yes, thank you, Coleman, Christine Sayo from Let's Do It Kenya. It was really nice to see you all. And next country where we are going is Tanzania, and there is Tayeli Masake from Nipefagio, and also led by Ana Morales. And so it's very interesting how they are working, because they are not working with the cleanup, obviously. They are working with the zero waste, with Gaia, with their education, with many things. It's really to my heart because I had an opportunity to work with a big program related to the education with more than 65 schools in Dar es Salaam, which is the capital of Tanzania, and to work with Tayeli Masake and his really great team, and to see and explore what great work they are doing. But before that, we are going to see the video from Nipefagio, and after that we have really nice call and talk to the team itself. Let's do it.
Lengo letu kubwa kabisa kuu ni kuhakikisha kwamba tunakusanya data, takwimu, kwa kujua kwamba takataka ambazo zipo maeneo ni takataka ya aina gani, zimezalishwa na nani, zile brands, zile nembo ni nembo gani, kila kitu, kwa sababu baadaye tukijua tunaweza kutumia hizi data kwa ajili ya kuomba serikali kubadilisha sera na kuhakikisha kwamba tunapunguza uzalishaji wa plastiki ndani ya nchi.
Kwa watu ambao wamefika, ningependa kuwashukuru kwa kuja kujumuika na sisi katika hili zoezi la kufanya usafi, kusherehekea hii siku ya usafi duniani. Waendelee kufanya usafi sio kwa siku ya leo tu, lakini kwa siku zingine zijazo, wakiwa majumbani wafanye usafi vile inavyotakiwa, watupe uchafu pale ambapo panatakiwa na sio watupe sehemu yoyote. Lengo letu la kwanza ni kuhamasisha jamii katika kufanya usafi wa mazingira yetu yanayotuzunguka ili yawe mazingira salama na bora.
Kwanza kwa Nipefagio, mimi niwashukuru na niwapongeze kwa kitu wanachokifanya katika kusave dunia yetu, kuokoa dunia yetu.
Kuna audit ambayo tunaita waba uoga tunafanya, ambayo waba hiyo ni kwamba tunaangalia ni aina gani ya uchafu tumeokota, lakini ni uko mwingi kiasi gani kwa idadi yake, lakini vile vile tunaangalia hizi taka zimetokea kwa brand gani, lakini vile vile ni kampuni gani zinatengeneza hizi taka. Na hii inatusaidia tukishamaliza kuchukua hii audit, tunaandika ripoti, inatusaidia kwenda serikalini kuongea na watunga sera, kuwaonyesha ni jinsi gani tatizo la taka lipo hapa Tanzania. Lakini vile vile ni kwenda kuwawajibisha hawa makampuni ambayo yanatengeneza hizi bidhaa ambazo zinakuja kuchafua. Waangalie ni jinsi gani wao kama makampuni wanaweza kuchukua hatua ya kukusanya hizi taka, lakini vile vile kupunguza kutengeneza hizi plastiki ambazo zinachafua sana mazingira yetu.
Ukiangalia zamani tulikuwa hatutumii plastiki nyingi sana, sasa imezidi. Sasa inabidi sisi tupige kelele na tuhakikishe kwamba tunabadilisha hali.
Sasa hivi tupo katika kutimiza yale malengo endelevu ya dunia by 2030 Sustainable Development Goals, ambao mojawapo ni utunzaji wa mazingira. Kwa nadhani wanasema vijana wasiachwe nyuma, yani kuwe na ushirikishwaji, kila mtu atambue kwamba ana jukumu la kuwa mlinda mazingira.
Sisi tunahitaji kwa kweli kukataza single use plastic. Plastiki tunatumia mara moja alafu tunatupa.
Sasa kazi mnayoifanya mnakwenda sambamba kabisa na maono na dhamira ya dhati ya Mheshimiwa Rais kukuza utalii wetu. Tunawashukuruni sana kwa kutupa heshima hii.
It has been a very educational morning for us, learning about the various type of waste, the impact it has on the ocean, the impact it has on the beaches, but also listening to their plans and the ambition for East Africa to be a zero single-use plastic waste area. So this is something that we wish them all the best with, and indeed we will support them in that effort.
Care for Life tuna furaha sana kuwa sehemu ya kuingarisha Tanzania na kuifanya Tanzania kuwa safi, ikiwa tumeshirikiana na Nipe Fagio pamoja na taasisi nyingine. So tuna furaha sana na tumefarijika sana kuona kwamba watu wana mwitikio mkubwa katika kuhakikisha kwa mazingira yetu yanakuwa safi.
Sasa ukitaka kushiriki, karibu sana kwa kuelewa zaidi, kwa sababu mazingira ni uhai. Sasa ukiacha mazingira, maana yake ni kwamba baadaye utakosa kupata afya nzuri, kupata nchi nzuri kwa kuishi.
Mimi naungana na Nipe Fagio katika kampeni ya kutokomeza matumizi ya plastiki zinazotumika mara moja. Plastiki yako, mazingira yetu.
All right, welcome back to Rome here live, where the time is coming up to 1:15 here on the World Cleanup Day 2025 with me, Colin Flynn. We've been checking in with countries right around the face of this beautiful planet, and next we are heading to Tunisia, and I see my friend there, Tajeli Massage. Did I pronounce that right?
Yeah, that's right, Tajeli Massage.
It is great to see you, my friend. Tell me where you are at the moment and what the World Cleanup Day has been like there in Tunisia so far today.
Okay, as you mentioned, I'm Tajeli Masaki, data coordinator from Nipe Fagio and Tanzania, country leader for Let's Do It Tanzania. So right now I'm here in Zanzibar, which is one of the island in Tanzania. And we host here World Cleanup Day 2025 together with many parties in Tanzania. Also, more than 10 regions, or we coordinate this World Cleanup Day for 2025.
What kind of problems are there specific and unique to Tanzania when it comes to pollution and waste? What's the big problem there?
The problem in Tanzania, mostly for this year, we know see it is a lot of plastic waste. So even when we are doing the cleanup, we find a lot of plastic waste, especially colored and this plastic bags. But also issue of clothing items. We found a lot of clothing items and the pampers. So this is three issues that arise in Tanzania. Although there is a lot of efforts done by stakeholders, many stakeholders, including the government, but really problem is issue of plastic pollution in Tanzania. That is very challenging.
Do the people, is it not a priority of the people and environmental issues and cleanup? Or why do you think so many people litter and throw away their plastic? Why is it the case there in Tanzania?
Yeah, it is a matter of awareness to the community, and but also it is a matter of policy enforcement. So there is a production of these products, but community are willing to engage in this initiative like cleanup. They are willing to collect, but there is no any enforcement for the like extended producer responsibilities. So which hinder totally the process of recycling and is something like reuse. But the issue is awareness in the community, but enforcement, so as to ensure that this responsibility among community and those who producers.
And do you find it easy to get through to the next generation, Tajili? Do you find it easy to connect and show them this is a really important issue that is worth fighting for?
Okay, yeah, sorry, you can repeat because I'm nearby the road, so there is something across here.
Loads of noise, no problem. I was just asking, do you find it easy to engage the young generation to tell them that this is an issue that is so important that it is worth fighting for? Is that how they think, the young people in Tunisia?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. For instance, for today, we have a lot of these students from different schools who also participated on this. So as we wanted to equip them with the knowledge, but also to understand what we aim for the future generation. So it is easier to engage with them, but also they need someone who is a decision maker who can also take this initiative or take this effort further more for the issue of implementation. So far, we as Nipe Fagio, we tried a lot to engage with students, with the kids, so as to ensure the coming generation are in a safe and a clean planet. And most of those kids and students, they are willing to do it for the future for their benefit. So it is maybe we need also the government to take this action further so as to help them to protect the future of those generations.
And of course, when they have great people like you, Tanzania Massage, inspiring them and showing them how it's done and being a great leader. Well, we appreciate your time. We hope everything goes well for the rest of the day there in Tanzania. And we will talk again soon. Enjoy the rest of your day, my friend. All the best. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Now, a guest we've had on the program a few times before. She is an ambassador for the World Cleanup Day. And she has been a phenomenon in spreading the word around the world. She is also a mermaid. She's won a few Guinness Book of Records, world records. Her name is Merily Levand, and here is her greeting for the World Cleanup Day.
So this is how everybody asks me how to train like a Navy SEAL. And I just picked up 3 of those crazy cans while building my climate muscle here. 3 of them, you see it? 1, 2, 3. And dragging them across the ocean. I mean, everybody can build a climate muscle. Join with us on September 20th and take your friends and just train your climate muscle while learning how to save the planet Earth from trash and living longer. Because we all need to do our part to save this magic. So when I can drag across the ocean these beer cans and soda cans, then you can join with me on 20 September and help the planet to become a cleaner place. And maybe you become stronger.
Thank you, Merle Levand. And who doesn't know, this person is holding 5 Guinness records. Yes, you heard it, 5 Guinness records. She's a model, she is an Olympic athlete, Guinness record owner as well. She is ambassador of the World Oceans. So this is how special is this woman. By the way, she is Estonian as well, but she is living in Miami, Florida, in United States. Thank you, Merle, for your really interesting, inspiring video. And now we are having a greetings and actually an interview with our President Kersti Kaljulaid. She has been created Kersti Kaljulaid Foundation after being a president in Estonia. And she is the biggest celebrity in Estonia in many levels, working in digitalization, working on high-tech, working on gender equality, violence, abusement, and all this kind of really interesting programs which is highly needed in the society nowadays. But Cole made a very great interview with her, with Kersti Kaljulaid, and we are really honored to see her on this interview. And by the way, she has been also really great patron and ambassador for the Let's Do It Well and World Cleanup Day, for what we are really, really thankful. Cole, the floor is yours.
President Kaljulaid, it is a pleasure to talk to you again. How are you doing today?
Well, pretty well. It's autumn, rain has settled in, and this is how it should be at this time. We've had a really hot period, climate change, you know.
You've a bit of rain on the beautiful cobblestones there in the old town of Tallinn.
Absolutely, slippery.
Well, it's wonderful to be joined by you again, and I know that your support for the World Cleanup Day has been going back for years and years. And really, throughout your presidency and your political life, and now your work that you do in activism and through your foundation afterwards, you still focus on climate change, environmental issues. Why is that so strong for you and such a passion? And why do you think we seem to see that it's gone off the boil a bit? It's not as popular as it was in political circles around the world.
Well, I believe that there are concerns in our societies, particularly in those countries which are the global opinion leaders, developed countries. They have different concerns. You have the war in Europe, which we didn't have when we started, etc. So you have countries indeed where, including Estonia, by the way, where this issue is like, okay, it's on the back boiler. But on the other hand, I mean, we also explain this to Estonian people that, yes, for us, Ukraine, and that what's going on there is a kind of security issue. But for Andalusians, the lack of water is not a risk, it's a realized risk. So we absolutely, need to also keep the emphasis there. And my role very often is to clean up in the society. My foundation, as you rightly said, pays attention to these questions, but we also work on, together with young people, we have established Youth Democracy Academy to make sure that we also clean up after this kind of, lower quality of political debate in our society, to train young people that they have a word in this society, they have a say, and it matters what they do. And we also clean up in this sense that we run a center together with Estonian enterprises fighting domestic violence, where the state has been, relatively inefficient and society kind of looking down on the problem. So I think this is our role, to help to clean up the society, including then in real terms.
But do you think, President, it's getting harder to draw attention to the issue or to mobilize political support? How do you find it's changing?
Well, in Europe in general, I think it is easier to find political support because Europe is the quickest warming region globally. I mean, every summer we hear in Europe that this is the record, this is the new record. Then we have fires going on all through the summer. Started in more kind of urgently in Spain. Now this summer was pretty horrible in France as well. So we see that, I mean, we are suffering from the climate change. And then therefore, if you look at the Eurobarometer, then apart from maybe a few kind of northeast countries, people acutely feel the pressure of the climate change, and they definitely want to stop it. Then, of course, the question is if you theoretically want to stop it or you are ready to do something about it. And of course, in Europe, we are trained to pay taxes and rely on the government. So we need to retrain ourselves to take ourselves responsibility because our fiscal capabilities are anyway overextended, dealing with our healthcare and social needs, and now also defense. So more and more responsibility has to be also taken by enterprises and by citizens, I believe.
Yeah, individual responsibility rather than just thinking, well, as you say, I pay my taxes, I work hard, so that's someone else's problem to deal with.
Yeah. But it isn't. We all, I mean, are drowning in the garbage if we drown in the garbage, and we all burn if the fire goes up. So it's everybody's business, and we all have children and grandchildren. So we really need to do something about it.
But isn't it true that they've realised that to a certain extent in Estonia, and that was the whole origins of the National Cleanup Day? Let's take this upon ourselves to make our country cleaner. Take one day a year and encourage everyone from individuals, families, communities, schools, towns, companies. And it worked to a large extent, didn't it?
It did, because the value is not about the tons of garbage removed from the nature, which of course is valuable in itself, but the value is that once you've participated in the cleanup day, you never throw your coffee cup out of the car window. And that is what is very important. But of course, we also have, like, one of my friends lives close to the petrol station and exactly at the distance where people have finished their coffee. He says still, I mean, his parameter is that how many coffee cups he has to pick up. And in the summer, the number goes considerably up because people come from other parts and they don't care about the cleanness of that particular village. So I think lots of training and lots of work, well, basically still has to go into it. And I believe it's never-ending job, because unfortunately human beings even maybe especially nowadays focus on the last signal, so we always have to have this as a last signal as well.
Now we know, President, that there are conflicts happening right around the world, in the Middle East, of course, in parts of Africa and in Ukraine. And the World Cleanup Day, normally hosted and headquartered in beautiful Tallinn in Estonia, although sometimes it ventures out to different parts of the world. This year, the media and call centre will be coming live and based in Kiev, in the heart of Ukraine, focusing on the environmental impact that this terrible war has had, the toll that this has taken. You know, we always hear about the human suffering, of course, which is tragic, and the death toll in a conflict like this. But we rarely talk about the environmental impact and the environmental tragedy that is unfolding in a very real way. Why do you think it's not talked about as much when it is such a real and pressing issue as well?
Well, in some circles it is. For example, in the beginning of the conflict, when Ukraine was quickly losing not only output of grain, but also the opportunities to export the grain. But now Ukrainian military has been able to push back Russian naval forces in the Black Sea. Ukrainian grain can exit the country relatively easily, so now the discussion has died down. But it doesn't take away from the fact that, I mean, big proportion of Ukrainian land is actually polluted by landmines and other kind of things which can, I mean, basically fly into your face if you plow your land. So this problem is huge and growing. In addition, of course, you remember that Russians broke one of the biggest dams in the country, and that meant that, I mean, lots of arable land actually became a swamp, and also the water reservoir to provide water to the fields is not there anymore. So the environmental problem, which relates directly to the world's food issues, is actually quite big. But as I said, I mean, the more urgent issue also for Ukrainians themselves is to get Russians out.
Now, from the very beginning of the World Cleanup Day, when it went national to international, a gift from Estonia to the world, you could say, you know, Heidi and the team have always said that the magic number is 5%. They want to mobilize and engage 5% of the world's population, and they think that's when they can really make a difference and take it to the next level, that, you know, everlasting change can be sustained if we get to that magic 5%. Do you think it is possible? Do you think it is achievable?
Achieving 5% is definitely doable. Will it be perpetuum mobile thereafter? No, it will not, because we definitely have, let's say, 5% of the society who believes that, I mean, women's rights should be equal to men, whether it comes to politics or leading companies. But we see that because we started to think this is kind of self-explaining fact, I mean, we now see a backslide. So, I mean, in this process. So similarly, of course, if you don't, I mean, keep this upfront in people's minds, then even 5% will not help you. But if you can mobilize this 5% to keep it high on agenda, both on political level, but also on the village level, then basically, yes, I think they're right.
And I know we're running short on time, but this has been broadcast during the World Cleanup Day, and some people might be sitting back on their couches watching and saying, well, that's great that people are doing this, but I'm too busy, or I've got plans today. What kind of advice could you give them? What kind of steps have you taken over the years, in a big way, in a small way, to take part in the World Cleanup Day?
Basically, you approach each and every group also trying to align your objectives with their objectives. For example, if you have parents of a kindergarten who come from the area where maybe it is not so safe to walk outside of the kindergarten territory with kids because, let's say, there are needles lying around, then you can motivate them by this example. If you have sporty people, for example, here in Estonia, we have done cleanup runs. So you go running and meanwhile you also pick up stuff. So, I mean, this is the way. There are children and young people who really care about the cleanliness of the oceans and sea. I mean, going around and picking cigarette butts up, I mean, is something which you can really easily, I mean, make it understandable for them. What's the benefit? What if they do it? I mean, after all, we all know that one cigarette butt, I mean, has an effect at least on 1 cubic meter of water or snow. So basically, you have to find for each and every group why it talks to them.
Finally, President Kaljulaid, it's a pleasure to be talking to you again. For the people who are taking part in the World Cleanup Day, helping out with Let's Do It World in Ukraine, in my home country of Ireland, in Estonia, all over the world, what is your message to them?
I mean, thank you. Thank you for doing it. Keep doing it. And also for those who do it in Ukraine, stay safe. Because we know that, I mean, touching objects on the land in the military zones is not always the safe thing. So I'm sure our Ukrainian friends have been thinking about, I mean, where they go, how they do it. But first and foremost, to everybody globally, thank you for doing it. Let's keep doing it.
President Kaljulaid, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Cole, and Honorable President of Estonia, Kersti Kaljulaid, now having and leading their Estonian Olympic Committee, but also a Kersti Kaljulaid Foundation. We are back in studio and we have really honorable guest, Michael Caponi from Global Empowerment Mission. Thank you so much for coming to this and finding the time for us. And we'd like to talk about the mission and all the foundation and the work, what you are doing in really general way. What is your biggest thing in your organization, which is coming to your heart, like main message, what you want to say right now to everybody, what you are doing?
I mean, we're a disaster and conflict zone, recovery agency, operate in 78 parts of the world, 78 countries. And as you know, between, the global events that are happening, between the wars, it's not only causing physical destruction, it's ruining environments. And there's just so much waste, and there's so much also toxicity that not a lot of people, it's not the kind of waste that you could see. But if a hurricane comes to a Caribbean island, for example, and it blows off a part of a roof, some people just go and fix that roof. But water got in that wall, and then there's mold and the contamination. Years later, those children are sick and they have asthma, they don't understand why. So these are all problems that, we have to look at when we look at cleanup. It's not just, like I said, physical stuff.
Absolutely. And being here in Ukraine and having this big war, it does have huge contamination here in Ukraine. And of course, demolition of the Kakhotka dam is also using or creating a lot of pollution, not just for the Ukraine, but also to the sea, Black Sea, but also the world, because there are a lot of countries affected by that. When you are seeing these different kind of disasters around the world regarding of the war and conflicts, what is the biggest problem which is coming to your mind, and what's supposed to be we are aware of and think about or change about it as much we can do on this situation, of course?
I mean, cleanup and debris cleanup is absolutely critical, right? It's the stage before any kind of rebuilding starts in anything, right? You look at some of the biggest conflicts today in the world, even Gaza. Imagine all that rubble and waste and the people there, right, with no toilets, no anything, you know. So it creates an even bigger problem. So what's amazing is on a day like this, you can really thank all the incredible volunteers all throughout the world. I mean, we've had programs where there's a hurricane that comes, say Hurricane Dorian comes in the Bahamas and it wipes out the whole island. There's no electricity, there's nothing. So everything is imported for a while, including bottled plastic water, because there's no other solution. But some of the things we've done in that case is little children that can't go to school anymore, we'll give them big bags like this big of plastic. We'll give them a $5 bill and we'll say, every bag you bring back with plastic in it, we'll give you $5.
Mm-hmm.
It's like putting money back in the economy. Then you have children that are just like picking everything up, right? And then we put that into containers, and then we partners with organizations like, you know, For Ocean, for example, and then they'll recycle and do things like that. So more organizations need to think along those lines and to do that, right? Because including us, nonprofits all throughout the world bring a lot of aid and supplies, which is extremely needed, but they're not always thinking about the repercussions of leaving those supplies and that plastic in those areas.
Exactly. And I think the really important part is like finding this holistic, this kind of approach by engaging different kind of stakeholders, because any NGO or one NGO cannot solve the situation or problems in this worldwide level. So what you see, what we have been discussed before as well, we can see that there are a number of conflicts, a number of disasters, a number of wars has been increased during these times. And I was really surprised when I was studying about the post-war restoration and war and climate environment that there is more than 60 countries concurrently in the conflict. What do you think about that? Where the world is going, and what is your thoughts? How we can save the planet in this way?
Well, first and foremost, I think that the mindset that we have today of separation, of political divide, of, you know, my religion's better than your religion, my religion's the good one, your religion's the evil one. This is, as long as we have this kind of mindset, it's just making the problems, right, aggravated. And you know, this is a much deeper conversation, but the planet, as you know, is a living organism with a soul, and it reacts as humanity reacts. You know, that's why in a golden age period, right, you have calmness, and in a period where there's so much anxiety, frustration, wars, anger, everything, the planet is also going to react like that. These are, you know, ancient philosophies, even in the times of the Hawaiians in the ancient days, where Pele would explode when they were at war. Right? So we have to, you know, calm everything. Everybody has to work together. No organizations can do anything on their own. It's impossible. I mean, we have hundreds and hundreds of partners. We need tens of thousands of partners to be able to do what we do. We all have to work together in the nonprofit sector, in the cleanup sector, in the political sector, and everything.
How you see this cooperation between different kind of sectors have been developing? Is it going faster? Is it achievable? Is it successful? Or we need to push more this kind of cooperations?
We always need to push more, but there's definitely a lot more progress. I think 10 years ago in the nonprofit sector, there was way less partnership model. You know, there was more big organizations that kind of do everything, Red Cross or UNICEF, and you know, it's their way only. Now you see so many organizations emerging and working together, so that's a positive thing.
Absolutely, and this is really crucial because we had a lot of interviews today and everybody are talking about a holistic approach, cross-sectoral cooperation, it's needed. And yet the people are sort of like not cooperative, and I hope that actually they are going more and more cooperative. It's very important. And when you take this kind of platform at the World Cleanup Day, it's bringing the people together across the borders, no matter what is their background, what is your culture and religion. And I really loved that you said that the earth is living organism, and that everything what we are doing, it's coming from inside of us. And as I said also, the people has the ones who put up the limits, but nature doesn't have any limits. So we have to definitely follow this model. What is your thoughts regarding of these messages regarding how this contamination inside of us, our thoughts, the way how we are living, how we are consuming, is related to the external contamination? Is there any relation at all?
Oh, of course there is. Of course there is. Political figures too, right? The political figure elected is only a reflection of the society. Otherwise you can't get elected. And that anger in that society that believes those things, right? That anger, that energy, that karma, call it, right? It's shown in the physical world through destruction, through litter, through abuse of animals, through everything.
Yes, indeed. And then we have to hold this message also to the people that we have to be hopeful. And there is hope and trust in this world. In your mission with a global empowerment mission organization called GIM, how you bring the hope and trustworthiness and belief into this world for their work and mission, what you are doing?
I mean, that's definitely our motto. It actually says it on all our trucks. It says, bringing hope, right? Delivering hope. When we give someone a box of food, even in Gaza when they're starving to death, if you measure the impact of the actual box of food compared to someone looking at them in the eyes and like comforting them and holding them and telling them you'll be there for them, that part of it is 1,000 times more potent than just the aid itself, right? And organizations have to really focus on that human touch, that connection with the people that we're helping, because that's what brings unity, that's what brings people hope.
So you're working with the communities, but definitely you're working also with other organizations and institutions, because as you said, nobody can have and achieve the changes as well by alone. Who are your partners, with whom you're working with, and what is the empowerment behind your movement?
We have, I couldn't even name them. I mean, we have tens of thousands of partners, but we're a smart partnership model, and every single mission that we have, if we have a mission in Gaza or a mission in Ukraine, it's with someone that has a liking to Ukraine, or someone that has a liking to Gaza, or someone that has a liking to Israel after October 7th, for example. And you have to find the right partners and their causes, right? And then you partner with them in those geographical areas, because everyone has different interests and different things that they care about. Some people want to help Haiti, some people don't want to hear about Haiti, right? Some people want to help the Amazon, and some people don't care about the Amazon, and so on. So it doesn't mean that that person is not a good person, it just means that they have something else that they're interested in.
Seems that the world is so diverse. I've been also in Amazonas before and saw the indigenous people and their brightness and understanding about the world and nature as well. And then we have the wars in this world, and then we have political persons working on their own agendas. So it's really mixed up world right now. So what is your hope, where we can actually stream as a humanity in this world, how we can save this planet? What is the most ultimate important thing what we can do, having in mind all this diversity and all these wars and all this huge pollution regarding of our bad habits?
It's tough. It's a very tough situation, because political figures, most of them today, especially in America, get elected on their performance for the economy. That's how they get reelected or not get reelected. So from an economical standpoint, for example, right, it would be wiser for the United States to drill in the Gulf, to drill in Alaska, to extract all that oil and not import it, and it would save a lot of money, right? So that's a pro-economy mindset. From an environmental mindset, right, It's a very horrible thing to do to Alaska, to the Gulf, to all the creatures, right? But because of greed and because of corporation greed and because of the way humanity is going, the most important, which is preserving our planet, has become the least important today.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
No one cares. It's just about what's better for the economy, what's going to make the stock market raise. That's the biggest problem in a nutshell. I mean, we've had solutions for, not only do we have solutions now, we've had them for 20, 30 years already. I mean, we don't need half the energy we're using right now. There's so many alternative solutions, but nobody wants to use them because it's not politically pro-economy.
Yes. At the same time, when we have more wars and wars, it's taking more this kind of, how can I say, resources and attention from the environment and working for the climate, especially with this kind of NGOs like we are. And how you achieve to save yourself as an organization, big organization, because I know that there is a lot of organization, NGOs, who are struggling with the funding, sometimes to striving to do all this work and have very strong alliances, because we have to keep the momentum going. We have to keep the way how we have been working. How to do that? What is your message to the other organizations in this world who have done such a noble work?
Our model, Smart Partnerships, really helps with that, for example. So because we're a US-based organization, the conflict in Gaza, for example, is so diversified, right? You're either on one side or you're on the other side. It's very hard to raise money for that. But there's other organizations that have been able to raise money for it because they may be leaning more on one side or the other. So by partnering with them and having them fund us and then us doing the work, for example, right, that eliminates that problem.
Exactly.
You can't always be dependent on your own direct donations. Sometimes the other person may have all the money and you just have to partner with them to do the job.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you so much, Michael Caponi, for coming to this interview. And unfortunately, we had just the 15 minutes, which passed like very quickly. And I have to say that the work of Michael Caponi is the same big size as the world itself, and we can talk about different kind of work and missions done by this organization in many hours, as we already before said. Definitely you can follow Michael Caponi's work on social media and everywhere, and what he's doing this global empowerment mission. And now we are going back to the studio, to the Vatican, by the way.
Oh, beautiful.
Who is there? We have a moderator who is a correspondent to Vatican Pope, Colin Flynn, and he is making an interview with Mozambique leader Carlos Serra. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Haiti, for that, and greetings to everyone there in Kiev, all the people, the volunteers who are working hard. Now, we're going to cross back to the African continent. Mozambique is always the strongest and biggest engager when it comes to how things are done at the World Cleanup Day, and the man who drives it, the force of nature behind it all, is Carlos Sirac. Carlos, great to see you again.
Nice to meet you, Colin.
So tell me, you sometimes engage even several thousand schools across Mozambique. How do you think it has become so successful in your country? What has been your secret sauce?
Okay, I think the most important is to engage the government, in this case, the Ministry of Education. They really take care about this issue. And yeah, yesterday, again, after 2 years, very good in terms of World Cleanup Day, the schools participated. We don't have numbers at this moment, but we already received a lot of pictures from every province. So the kids clean up the schools. That's amazing. But the important is always involve the authorities, talk with them, explain them how important it is to keep the environmental clean, and principally educate the children and the next generation of this country.
Carlos, what are some of the main issues and the challenges specific to Mozambique? Because we know, in one country it can be maybe the waterways, In another country, it can be issues in the forest land. Are there specific issues in terms of pollution and litter that are kind of unique to Mozambique or that you see coming up again and again?
Okay. First of all, we need to educate more. Okay. We have a lack of environmental education. It's true. We involve a lot of people, many people in World Cleanup Day, Environmental Day, Earth Day, etc., etc. But we also have basic problems. One of the main problems is clearly the waste management. You know, we don't have solutions at this moment. We don't cover all the country. We don't cover all the neighborhoods, all the urban areas. So the waste is everywhere. Okay, we are not at this moment a clean country. Too far away from that. But we are trying to do something. It's important, and there's a difference between today and 2015 when we started cleaning. Actually, we have 10 years cleaning, and the most important thing, cleaning the minds.
Cleaning the minds, and it's amazing that you're hitting the decade mark now on this cleanup operation.
Yes. Yes.
And you mentioned there's a difference. So what difference, Carlos, have you seen from then to now?
Now, what I see is, of course, in terms of beach, for example, we clean up the coastline in Maputo area. We have less waste than 10 years ago, a decade ago. That's really important to say. But I think the number of young people, the youth engaged in the World Cleanup Day, in environmental activities, is now a reality. That is, for me, a reason to a better future. Where do you see it? We have hope. So many people now involved. So I can imagine how many organizations will be created in the next few years. Do you see environmental organizations? How many cleanups? How many environmental education activities? So that's important to say. I think in Mozambique, the youth are our hope.
Well, I think that is a great place to leave it. The youth are our hope. And Carlos, you are the hope for so many people there as you lead Let's Do It Mozambique every year with such enthusiasm, inspiring those all around you. So Carlos Sira in Mozambique, thank you so much and enjoy the rest of your World Cleanup Day.
Thank you. We didn't finish. We are cleaning at this moment. I have a lot of volunteers here cleaning the main road in Macaneta region. So we will finish in 1 hour.
Yeah, because that's where people throw stuff out the windows when they're driving down the road. They just throw litter out the window. Is that what you see?
That's it. That's it. But we are here, actually.
You're there. Carlos, thank you so much.
Thank
God
you.
bless Mozambique. Now, this is Colin Flynn here with you, speaking live from Rome, hosting these interviews as we go right around the world, talking to countries, covering the green wave. It's been an incredible sight to see across the day. And we're going to head back now to where the Kola Media Center is. We're going to go back to the city of Kiev, the capital of Ukraine, the beating heart of World Cleanup Day this year, because we went out onto the street and we asked some of the Ukrainians about their thoughts on this conflict and what the effect it is having on the environment. Take a look at this.
We showed this video to you. So we are coming back to Kiev, Ukraine. And I was sort of really laughing because I didn't saw any that Carlos will be in the car and having the interview. Usually he's on the cleanup, but I understand the leaders have to go and drive between different kind of locations, and this is exactly what Carlos are currently doing. This is a country who has been engaged millions of people because they are also engaging thousands of schools, working with the mayor, working with their ministries, and they have done it 10 years and even more. And if we can say that the soul of the world cleanup, the soul of the cleanups in this world, at least in our network, I hope all the leaders are agreeing, is Carlos, because he's posting his postages, working all the day and night for the clean environment in Mozambique. By the way, he is also have an award from Queen Elizabeth for their environmental work what he is doing, and also he has also collected more than 200,000 glass bottles and made a beautiful glass house in Makanema Beach, which is serving the community center for education for environment. But now we are back in Kiev indeed, and it was really great session to look inside the Africa, Europe, and before that we were in West Asia and Asia. We had multiple different kind of really great interviews with Michael Caponi, with Kersti Kaljulaid, with everyone. So we go into little resting time, and maybe we are going to clean up and be back here in 10 minutes or so. We will continue with our session and going to Latin America and Americas. Thank you.